Hey, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adam Bardwell. Today I'll be talking about cannabis. I will be discussing the history of hemp in America, the uses of industrial and medicinal hemp as well. I will also speak briefly on legislations in place throughout the U.S. Cannabis is one of the most versatile substances known to man. Oh, can you please change the slide? Thank you. It is a plant that drives heated debate and conversations throughout our nation. Most people associate cannabis with hippies or stoner culture, but what if I was to tell you this plant can heal, create, clean the earth, and possesses extremely unique properties? Right now in our country, the ability to use and produce marijuana or hemp seems to be a legal gray area. That ability is dictated by an invisible line that depends on the state or country. A country with who we share a border with has fully legalized the use of this plant for both recreation and medical uses. So as we discuss this versatile plant, I ask you to keep an open mind, because possibly, maybe I could change your mind, and cannabis isn't as taboo as you originally thought. The use of hemp can be traced back thousands of years. Cannabis played a key role in the development of Jonestown, which we all know was the first settlement here in the New World. The settlers grew hemp for rope, sails, and clothing. It was actually illegal not to grow hemp. It allowed the settlers to thrive and ultimately aid in building America. So why is it so taboo in the U.S.? Well, as we start to dig into the history, we can only speculate. Since the first national regulation, the Marijuana Tax Act of 1937, the production, use, and sale of marijuana was prohibited. As cannabis in our country was demonized, the industry fizzled out with its increasingly growing unpopularity. With time, distaste and misunderstanding began to change, and people have become more open. As science and data continues to grow, a young but promising industry has been born. People have begun to realize the list of benefits and versatile uses of this plant. As the industry is still misunderstood by a vast majority of people, we have found that education is the most important tool to help legitimize hemp. Next slide, please. What is hemp? Hemp is one of 3 strains that are derived from the cannabis plant. The name of the strain is Cannabis sativa. There is a distinct difference between marijuana and hemp. Marijuana is what most people associate with reefer, dope, or drugs in general, and that has high concentrations of THC. Now hemp, although it's from the same family as marijuana, it's very different, and its chemical makeup is much different, with a lower THC content, and legally, in order to produce or grow hemp, you have to have below 0.039% THC. Whereas with the THC in marijuana, you will see averages of 18% or higher, so it's drastically different. THC is what causes that psychoactive effect, or that high that everyone is very familiar with, whereas hemp has no psychoactive effects, and there are no psychoactive effects, as I said. So CBD is a compound that is found in hemp that is very versatile in terms of health benefits, so that is why people are harvesting hemp here in the country. Hemp is what most people associate with materials. Next slide, please, as well. The materials can be created from the hemp plant are absolutely remarkable. The clothing that is made from hemp is much stronger than other textiles such as cotton, and lasts much longer. The automotive industry uses hemp for its lightweight and durable properties, which can actually be compared to carbon fiber. Hemp is such an amazing plant that it's being used to clean up contaminated soil. So places like after an oil spill, they're actually planting hemp to help clean the contaminants out of the soil, because of the way it can actually process that stuff. Paper has been made for hemp for hundreds of years, and actually the Constitution was written on hemp paper. Construction material is said to be extremely durable and reliable. As I said before, hemp has a high amounts of cannabidiol in the plant. Can you please go to the next slide? The compound of CBD has no psychoactive effects. CBD has been found to treat nausea, epilepsy, inflammation, pain, PTSD, insomnia, and much more. CBD is legal in most states, including North Carolina, and their products can be found in local grocery stores, online, or at most health stores. CBD is typically used as a topical solution, is ingested or inhaled. It's quickly gaining popularity and is changing lives for people who are in chronic pain and have those issues. Research and development are underway to unlock the knowledge and true healing potential of this substance. Doctors at UVM have begun to dive into to the weeds and really get into the physiological effects of CBD throughout the body, and have found why the reason CBD is so useful for pain, and it's because of where the receptors for that substance are located within the body. The receptors for the substance are found on the cell membranes in the pain pathways within the CNS or central nervous system. So they bind to that and they can block pain pretty much as effectively as an opioid would, and that's why they're finding great success with it. It's also it's non-addictive, unlike the opioid, so it's actually becoming more acceptable to prescribe cannabis products because of the lack of physical dependence that it develops, or it does not have addictive properties. So with the opioid crisis at an all-time high, and worse than ever, and people are becoming hooked on pain pills, and with minimal side effects, cannabis may be the answer for a lot of these problems throughout our country. At the federal level, an amendment to the 2014 Farm Bill allows hemp cultivation and research purposes, but prohibits the commercial production. However, there are currently 35 states where on the state level they've legalized it, and they have legislation in place, usually through university pilot programs. So here in North Carolina, you have the NC State has a pilot program where farmers can register and do their third-party testing through them. So these farmers are required to adhere to strict regulations and third-party testing for their hemp to ensure that THC is below 0.03%. However, farming THC is extremely risky because you cannot insure the products or insure your crop. So if you become above that 0.03%, you end up having to burn your crop and you're losing out on all that. So it's extremely risky. So in closing, just like many controversial topics, I believe that education is the most important tool for expanding and growing new ideas and unfamiliar things. I hope that I was able to provide you with a good fundamental understanding of the benefits of cannabis. Maybe you or someone you know can benefit from the medical properties of this plant. As I end this presentation, I ask you to continue researching and learning about hemp to develop your own opinions and beliefs. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.